Are you stuck? Feeling small, contained, no longer loving your work, getting this dream job or business and stepping into it and feeling like you have no room to expand, like your soul is maybe even withering on the inside and you're not really sure what your purpose is anymore? If that's you, hi, I'm Jen with Laughing Lotus Wellness, and I'm a purpose expert. What I do is work with people just like you who are struggling to get in touch again with that really beautiful fire on the inside, that space that felt expansive and excited about your work, and we reconnect you to your purpose and success. So a couple of things I know after all of my years of treating clients over the years and using my effective healing modalities is that there's 3 things we can do to expand into purpose. So today we're going to just talk a little bit about that. And so as we come into the month of May, I want us to think about expanding, okay? Expansion, taking up room, taking up space. And it really reminds me of that time as children when we didn't think like this. We didn't think in small terms. We didn't feel like we were contained in a way that prevented us from stepping into who we were. And as we age, things take place, we have situations arise, and we kind of morph into a space sometimes where we really feel super contained and not able to expansively move outside of our space. So I want us to tap into that childlike wonder, right? We had no holds bar. We were ready to step in. We felt super free. We felt super ourselves. That's where we want to go in the month of May. And so it ties so beautifully to purpose. And what I want to do is give you 3 tips on expanding into purpose, okay? But first what we're going to do is define expand, because you guys know I'm a word nerd. You know it. Coming in hot for you. So how I define expand for this month is engaging in zany passion and novel direction. Meaning, at one point, we might be in a place where, thinking much like if we were going to plant some seeds in soil, right, in a pot, and they grow and grow and grow, and they're beautiful and they're voracious, and they've got all this energy. Fit for you, right? There's a lot of symbolism going here, and there's a lot of fire and energy into growing. And what happens with time is, as they get so big, they actually outgrow the container. What happens is you'll start to see that some parts of your plant or flower are actually withering and dying. And that's the same for our souls. When it feels too contained, too hemmed in, we don't feel the spaciousness to expand into really living into who we are and what our purpose here is, okay? And so I'm gonna give you 3 tips about kind of working into this space. So I'm going to take that idea of expansion, I'm going to renegotiate that definition for yourself, and use that for the month. Engaging in zany passion and novel direction. What in the hell does that even mean? So zany meaning high energy, okay? So engaging in zany passion. Where does your passion lie? And novel direction meaning new and like fun directions. Like we don't have to just do the same pattern, the same journey we've already done. We get to define new expansive space to move into. Okay, so that's really what expand means for the month of May, and I'm like hella fired up about it. Okay, 3 tips to purpose. Here we go. 1, define your perceived containers. One of the first and best things you can do for yourself is define your perceived containers. In what way do you keep yourself small or contained? Is it that you have a belief system about not like leaving a job, leaving a person? It could be a situation, it could be an experience. There's all kinds of ways that we sort of inadvertently hem ourselves in. And the first thing I really want you to do is engage in awareness about how you do this. How do I set up perceived containers? Our bodies are perceived containers. In my meditation this morning, we moved right outside of that body. We moved out of the body, we moved out of the mind, and we moved out of the heart. And so I wanted everyone to have this experience of like how big they can be, how much space they can take up, okay? And so I want you to first get really honest with yourself about what your perceived containers are, because that's huge. So you have to know what you're trying to grow out of, right? Okay, that's number 1. 2, take up space. I want you to engage in meditation. You could be doing some walk and movement where you're expansively moving the body. I want you to move into spaces where you see that you can take up space. You have the right to take up space. And so I really want you to practice this idea, because when we practice that, it becomes really natural for us to begin to expand in all directions more of the time, right? So that's really an invitation to step into your fullest self, to see your highest good, and to live into that place. And so we want to take up some space, right? And then I want you to pick one way to expand yourself. I want you to find a thing you're going to work on, one. Because if we get too many things going, it'll get overwhelming for us, and then we just sit in the overwhelm. We don't ever get going. So what we want to do is build some beautiful momentum here as we head out into May, right? We want to like work right away into that expansion. And what I want you to do is pick one area. Where do I need to expand? Is it your career? Is it a relationship? Is it in your parenting? Is it in personal growth? Do you feel like last night I was having a conversation with some women and one of them said, I need to keep engaging in personal growth. And so we talked about, right, we were ending a class and we're like, how do you keep your momentum going? Oh my God, you did all this brilliant work. We want to keep it going. So this is really where I want you to kind of dial in, right? What's an area? And one area that I know that's really powerful is continuing to do personal growth and development. Is it finding community that feels great? What spaces are going to invite you to be your best self? What is going to build you up, right? And so picking an area of perceived boundaries where we kind of feel, and then we want to work on expanding that outward. If you're interested, go find my Insight Timer meditation and plug that in this week. It should be in by midweek, I would say. And so you're welcome to go and listen to that and use that as part of your journey. If you've got other methods, if it's journaling, if it's conversating, if it's community, whatever method you got, use that. But I want you to really move into this, defining one space. What's one space I'm going to work in? Where am I going to throw some energy? Where am I going to grow and expand? And I realize that when I outgrow something, there might be parts that will wither and die. And that's what we're working on doing. In the month of April, we really worked to release some of that. So hopefully our container is full and lush. And we're actually feeling like we have a big enough container to expand outward and really fully step into our greatness. With that being said, I invite you over to my website, which is just laughinglotuswellness.com. Again, that's laughinglotuswellness.com, where I have tons of tips and tricks for transformation and purpose. And I invite you over there to kind of go and peruse and stay with me, stay the course and see what things I've got coming up. But really, I would love for you to check out my website and just check out some of those tips and tricks and tools and even some meditations in there that might be supportive to your journey. And that's a great place to just start for right now. So welcome in May, welcome in this idea of how we're going to expand. Prepare yourselves for expansion. Prepare yourselves for transformation. Get ready to fire up and make space outside of your perceived container. And I will see you next time.